So when I was almost 30, we were about to have our first daughter, and I thought I would ask my father, who was in his 80s, a little bit about our family, because I was going to make a little family tree. And I said, my father is Irish, Raymond Tracy Aloysius Dooley, and I said, so how did we get here? And he said, what do you mean? I said, well, why did they leave Ireland? He said, well, your great-great-grandfather, Patrick Dooley, had an appointment with a hangman he didn't care to keep. My father was very formal. My mother called him lace curtain Irish. She was Italian from New York, and she said he wouldn't say without, even if he had a mouthful of it, right? He wouldn't say that word. He just wouldn't. He was a very, very proper man. And I said, wow, you mean he was like a criminal? And he said, well, only if you consider printing seditious literature against the English crown a crime, well then, yes. I thought, wow, cool. So he was like a revolutionary. And he's like, well, he was not happy about that because he knew that I really had this very revolutionary bent. So he didn't want to get me too excited about it. But he was a printer and I was a printer and this was oh so cool. I said, so what happened? Well, he went to Australia is what happened. He was transported. And back in the day, you were given the opportunity to be hung by the neck until you were dead because that might be a nicer, cleaner death than going to Australia. So they actually gave you that choice. So he decided, I will go for Australia. Thank you so much. And he was transported to Australia, where he survived that. And somehow he escaped from Australia, which I don't quite get because it was a penal colony. And it's not like he just said, oh, you know what, I'm so done with this. I'd just like to leave. So, but he managed to get to British Columbia, Vancouver, and my father said he walked across the entire continent of the North America, and when he got to the Hudson River Valley, he went south and settled in Brooklyn. Now, you would think that someone who has these kinds of traveling shoes in their jeans would be quite a traveler, right? But I had a total and complete panic disorder around driving. And it came to me when our children were very young. We had 4 children, 3, then 4 children, and I couldn't drive anywhere. It was terrible. I could not drive on the highway. It just was, it completely overtook me. And it was 9 years of this. It was terrible. But after 9 years of this, we were living in Cambridge and taking our children to school in central Mass, and we had this long commute that we had to do, and I was going on Route 2A, and it was taking like 2.5 hours, and I really got tired of it. And my disability, just like I was just done with it. And I got some good books on how to desensitize yourself to panic, and I tried some things, and I would go on Route 2 with my husband, and we would go from exit 19 to exit 20, and I'd tell myself, you can get off, and then I'd get off, and then I would go from 19 to exit 21, and then a little bit more, and then finally I was driving from Boston out to Central Mass, this little town where we're going to live, and I could do it, but it was a total white knuckle flight the whole way. I mean, I would go 40 miles an hour. I had to be in the right-hand lane, right near the breakdown lane in case I needed to get off, and it was one day when I was driving, and there was one of those big logging trucks behind me, and a big gas truck filled with flammable liquid in front of me, and I was in the travel lane, and I couldn't pass because I just couldn't pass. I just only could stay 40 miles an hour in the travel lane, and I thought, this is going to kill me. I mean, I don't want to be in these. This is terrible. This is dangerous. I've got to be able to do this, and so. The next trip out, we left at like 6 o'clock in the morning to get our daughters to school out in Central Mass. And it was a beautiful day. And I'm driving along Route 2, and there's hardly any cars. And then all of a sudden, this big red dump truck comes on. And it's right in front of me, and it's in the travel lane, and it's going like 40 miles an hour. Good God, I can't go 40 miles an hour all the way 70-mile trip. That's just ridiculous. I'm not going to do that. I've got to pass. I've got to do it. So I decide I'm doing it. I'm going, right? And this is all in my head, right? Because I have children in the back. It's like, yes, that's nice. Don't poke each other. Thank you. Everything's good. Right? So I'm like, okay, I've got to do this. I'm going to do this thing. I'm going to do this thing. So I pull out into the passing lane. And the panic pulls right out with me. And I'm like, okay, I know what I'll do. I'll just read everything on the truck. Okay, so I'm reading what it says on the tires, and I'm reading what it says, the US DOT numbers. I'm reading everything. And then I get to the cab of the truck, and there's the name on the truck, and it says, Patrick Dooley Trucking. I looked at it, and I thought, that is a sign. That's what that is. That is a sign. And I put my pedal to the metal, and I went like 60 miles past that truck, and I have been driving with the ancestors ever since. Thank you.